In a dramatic courtroom showdown years in the making, John Somirakis, a veteran businessman with 45 years of experience, found himself fighting not just for his company's reputation, but for his own survival. Despite decades of successful dealings with Georgia Pacific, a single canceled order, compounded by the devastating impact of the pandemic, led to the collapse of his business and a crushing $1.2 million judgment against him. Struggling without legal representation, John's pleas for more time to secure counsel were denied, as the court swiftly moved to dismiss his counterclaims and enter a default judgment. What began as a story of trusted partnership ended in allegations, unanswered motions, and a courtroom defeat that left a once thriving entrepreneur facing financial ruin and seeking a last glimmer of hope through appeal.
Yep, can you hear us?
Yes. I am John Somirakis, and
Yeah, tell me, repeat the last name again so I try to say it correctly.
Somirakis, Somarakis.
Somirakis.
Yes.
Okay. And who are you in relation to the corporation?
The Somirakis Inc. It was a vacuum pump company located in Kalama, Washington, and we've been done business for 53 years.
Right, but who are you in the company?
I was the president. I'm the owner.
Okay. Okay. So what I have us here on is a request for a default and a motion to dismiss counterclaims. The allegations are, despite quite some time with this case being involved, it's been difficult to get any response from you. So I'm going to hear from Ms. Meyer or Ms. Kohara, and then I'll hear from you. Go ahead.
Okay. This case...
Oh, no, not you, sir. We're going to hear from the plaintiffs first and then from you.
Okay.
Your Honor, as this is Mara here. As you know, we have been trying since 2020 to get with Mr. Somirakis through his counsel, and in fact, we moved to strike the trial date because we never got a response, and his counsel withdrew from representation. We thought there was new counsel that was going to represent him, and they told us they were not. I don't know if he has counsel on this call that is representing him or if he's representing himself, but our point was, twofold. Again, this was filed in 2020. We moved to strike the trial date. When we spoke with you then, we had indicated we'd be filing a motion for default and that we'd also be filing to dismiss the counterclaims. I know my co-counsel, Ms. Meyer's office, had served by email, and she can go into that further if you need her to, Mr. Somirakis and his company, and we've heard no word, and frankly are surprised she's on this call today. And we had to take a lot of time and efforts to put the motions together and have struck the one trial date we had. We had spent countless time trying to reach out to folks we thought were representing him, only to be told that he was not. And so we're here to move right now to dismiss the counterclaims. They have not been prosecuted at all. And then we also move for a default judgment because, again, we've been trying, and this is 5 years. And I don't really know what else we can say other than, you've got the affidavits from Ms. Meyer and the support for what is owed. And again, we had no indication that anyone from Mr. Somirakis Incorporated was going to be here today. They never reached out to us.
Ms. Meyer, did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, I concur with what Ms. Kohara said. Additionally, it's my understanding that while Mr. Somirakis is the owner of the company, he is not an attorney and not in a capacity to speak on behalf of the corporation at this time.
Yep, 1,000% true.
In this case, John Somarakis, the owner and former president of Sirocco's Incorporated, a vacuum pump company operating for 53 years in Kalama, Washington, appeared before the court without legal counsel. The lawsuit had been pending since 2020, and despite repeated attempts from the plaintiff's side, Georgia Pacific and their lawyers, to communicate and resolve the issues, Sirocco's Incorporated failed to properly defend itself or participate actively in the proceedings. Mr. Somarakis' original attorney had withdrawn, and no new counsel was appointed, leaving the company without legal representation. The plaintiffs requested a default judgment against Sirocco's Incorporated for failing to defend and moved to dismiss the company's counterclaims, citing the long delay, lack of action, and procedural violations. When asked,
and so I guess I'm going to walk a fine line with you, sir. It is well established that individuals cannot legally represent corporations or LLCs in court, with some small exceptions, like small claims court or perhaps tax court. That is not where we find ourselves. So I will let you tell me what you believe is going on right now, but without an attorney here, nothing you say is going to be deemed a legal argument on your corporation's behalf.
Okay.
So what would you like me to know?
Okay. What I want you to know, Georgia Pacific, I've been doing business with them for 45 years. Never had any problem with them. And on the last job we had, it was a machine. It's going to Palatka, Florida.
Well, hold on. So you're getting into the merits of the case.
Okay.
Which is what a lawyer would do. So really, what I'm asking you is, do you have a lawyer?
No, I had a lawyer, Matt Anderson from Longview.
Okay.
He has handled this for a long time, and he stopped because I don't know why. We had on that job $1.9 million in, and they canceled, the Georgia Pacific canceled the order and bought Chinese pumps because they were cheaper. The reason for me to be here today is to give me time to find a lawyer, because all this paperwork I got from the lawyers from Georgia Pacific, they mail it to me in my home in March 28th, and I had a court date April 2nd, and then they changed it again to the 23rd today. I had no time to find a new lawyer, so I need permission from you from the court to give me time to find a counsel so they can represent me legally. I have all the files. Like I said, I've done business for 45 years. They have over 250 of my pumps on the systems. And after they canceled my order and I had all my money in it, the pandemic hit and I went out of business because of that. So I do wanted to have a counsel to tell the whole story. I have receipts. I have a purchase.
Mr. Somarakis explained that his company had worked with Georgia Pacific for over 45 years without problems, but during their last project, Georgia Pacific canceled a large $1.9 million order and switched to cheaper Chinese-made pumps. He claimed that this cancellation, combined with the pandemic, led to the collapse of his business. He further explained that his previous attorney had allegedly told him the matter would go away after a small payment, which never happened. Mr. Somarakis asked the court for additional time, 4 to 6 weeks, to find a new attorney, claiming he only recently received paperwork in late March and didn't have enough time to hire legal counsel before the new hearing date. However, the judge, citing the 5-year delay and Mr. Somarakis' failure to act in a timely and lawful manner, denied the request for more time. The judge explained that a corporation cannot represent itself in court.
Orders, I have agreements, I have everything. And now they tell me I have to pay them back. For what? I have my own money, $1.9 million into it, and I went out of business because of that.
So you filed your counterclaims June 15 of 2020.
That's Matt Anderson.
Understood, but he on your behalf. So why would I believe that granting an additional 30 or 60 days is going to make any difference in a case where we haven't made any headway in 5 years?
Mr. Anderson, when the last conversation I had with him, he said Georgia Pacific will dismiss everything if you pay them $12,000. And I told
I'm going to pause. I don't have that attorney here, and I don't have that in a declaration in front of me.
he used to be my attorney.
I understand. So I think what I hear you saying is you believed this was going to go away.
That's what he said is going to go away. My question to you is, Your Honor, it's any way I can have 4 to 6 weeks to find a new counsel.
No, I believe you've had sufficient time if you wanted to pursue this to move forward. In all frankness, statute of limitations on all or some of your claims probably has run at this point. So I am going to go ahead and sign the order for default for failing to defend. I am going to dismiss your counterclaims with prejudice. I am going to sign the order presented for the judgment.
So explain it to me, because I am my language, English language is my second language. I'm Greek. What am I supposed to pay Georgia Pacific now?
There is a judge, what I can tell you, and I can't give you legal advice, but there is now a judgment against you in the amount of $1.2 million.
Well, good luck, because I'm broke. They completely destroy me.
Okay. Well, sir, at least I appreciate you being here. If you need to reach out to an attorney about how to proceed from here,
Can we appeal this case?
you can do whatever you feel you need to do. I can't give you legal advice, but I will remind you that as an corporation, an incorporated corporation, you cannot represent yourself in court. Okay?
Yes.
All right, I've gone ahead and signed that order, and I'll hand it up to the clerk. Anything else we need to do today?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Number 3.
Only a licensed attorney can, and that Mr. Somarakis' explanations about canceled orders and financial hardship did not excuse the procedural failures. As a result, the judge granted the plaintiff's request for default judgment against Sirocco's Incorporated and dismissed the counterclaims with prejudice, meaning they cannot be refiled. Furthermore, the judge confirmed that a legal judgment in the amount of approximately $1.2 million was now entered against Sirocco's Incorporated. Mr. Somarakis, visibly distressed, expressed that he was now bankrupt and that the collapse of his company was due to Georgia Pacific's actions. He asked if he could appeal the decision, and the judge told him he could do whatever he felt necessary, but reminded him once again that a corporation must have legal representation to appear in court and that the court could not provide him with legal advice. Ultimately, the judge finalized the ruling by signing the default judgment and dismissal order, effectively ending Sirocco's Incorporated's case at the trial court level with a significant financial judgment entered against the company.